Morning. Rain again here in Vancouver, and that quiets my mind. Because when it rains, it sets a mood of slowing down, of relaxation. That's for me. Other people may just have a hate feeling and gets them into different brain type of activity. Maybe hating the weather, hating the brain gets them thinking something like some stupid thoughts. I have no idea. For me, when it's nice day, my mind goes to adventure. So I'm more excited, I'm more active. When it rains, it's just mellow. Okay, it's time for taking it slow. The rain takes care of plants, the rain takes care of forests and vegetation, and takes care of me. And now I'm going to make up a conspiracy theory, if you're into that. So it's about this pandemic, how the governments, but not one government, because if we look around, we see a well-coordinated action all across the globe. It's like some bigger entity. I'm not going to say from aliens, but a bigger entity. Some people call those the Illuminati, or the people who have lots of money in the world, who control the population and economy. I'm not going to name anything or say anything, because this is a conspiracy theory and everything is fiction. But what we see here is a very, very coordinated action, and it seems that most governments fell for that type of directive that made all those government leaders to act and follow certain new rules, new system, apply systems in order to control the population. Now, how to see it? If you can see it in a good light, we can put it in a good light. We got a virus, and the virus was just a natural mutation, and some entity above all used the World Health Organization to control the spread, to help the population prevent the spread, which could cause further damage, which ended up in a better shape than a few months ago. So we could be thankful to those people that they were able to enforce rules at the country level, and based on that they reduced the number of deaths. And they had to deal with food chain, production, and they had to fine-tune and put in a balance everything, including funding and paying those people who lost jobs because of that. It was not an easy task. It was a huge responsibility on all the government leaders. It was something that, and it still is, something that people haven't dealt with in the past. They were not prepared for that, and it required a good coordination between governments, parties, political parties, and all the levels, all the way to factories and individuals. And it seems that it went well. This control, it showed results. People did not like it, but I'm happy that I had the job, And if I did not have a job, probably I would be in not a very good shape. I don't have this type of benefits and coverages and whatever other workers get. I don't know. I didn't try to apply, but I'm saying it's at least in Canada, people got some sort of a financial backup, and they still get many of those, some millions of Canadians who lost their jobs get some government support. So again, that's if we see the events in a good light. If you want to be one of those negative thinking guys or woman, you can twist these events and assign a negative connotation or negative meaning or something. You can make up stuff, because that's human nature. You assign something, an emotion or some event or something, according to what's the outcome you want to see, or the outcome you want to imagine, in order to get a feeling, or in order to get a someone else, in order to get someone else to be on your side, so you feel that you have a good point, you feel that you are being listened to, whatever you are trying to reach when you try to convince other people about your theories and about your thoughts, about your stories regarding other people, regarding your events and stuff. Now, let's assign something less positive to the story, and that's a conspiracy theory. I'm going to make one up on the go before I get to work. So now you have a virus that went wild, could be a man-made virus, and now this big entity, the rich people of the world, the rich families of the world, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call those people, used people at the top of different organizations, like Bill Gates could be one of them, World Health Organization, and those guys, they pulled some strings and they managed to deal with governments who have very secret lines, communication lines, which are not using regular means. The communication lines, including the police forces, have special data systems that have a direct link to satellites and military satellites, and they cannot be, there is no way to eavesdrop those. You cannot get into those because they are special links, satellite links. It's military encrypted specialty type of code. Hackers don't have the access to that. Hackers cannot tap into those because the links are totally isolated from the internet. And those entities, let's say people who control the political leaders, they all have access to this technology because they funded it, they promoted it, they established a system as a backup, so they keep control on the people. So they are not stupid, that's why they got that reach. They are able to control the population, so they make more and more and more, and they feel powerful, they feel unique and special. They are, but they want to maintain that uniqueness, and they knew, they have their own intelligence. It's not their own mind, but they have their own people informing them this is what happens in the world. Like Ceausescu, he had his special force, special informant system and network, special security, secret police. who informed him what happens in the world. They had a bunch of spies all over the place. It's part of the human nature. Those people who want to be in control, they will use other people to spy on others. And same happens with those guys, those rich people. They have a network of secret service working for them, and they use informants, they use money, they have access to all the controlling tools over the population. They can pick on someone. Let's say if they found that someone is able to figure out their system, that person is already known. Because once you are that smart to tap into the system, you leave some traces. You can't be one individual trying to get into such a complicated system. You can imagine it, but in order to access the information, you cannot do that by yourself. You need tools, you need technology, you need people. So let's say if it's a very smart person what can a smart person cannot turn upside down that sophisticated system set by these rich people. And that person has to have a willpower, has to have money, has to have a network of people helping that person. And all these people leave traces. And let's say if I need a very powerful or very smart hacker, in order for me, let's say if I have that intention, in order for me to find that hacker, I would have to have a direct line to the hacker. But how to find the hacker? Who tells me? All my communications, all my searches have to go through a system. I cannot just go, someone has to tell me where the hacker is. And even in initial search, I leave traces, and those people have mechanisms, have software tools to recognize intentions. And once my intentions are recognized, that okay, I'm looking for this software on the internet, or I'm looking for this hacker or something, or at the library or something, that initial intention is being tracked and recorded, and now I'm in the system. And even I try to hide my intentions, they have the eyes on me. Okay, and that's about those who are trying to do something. And now if we look at people who try to dismantle this type of system, because the system is so huge, it's so complex, it's so well designed, people can't go straight to the queen of the beehive, right? You have to go through a bunch of soldiers. I'm talking about even in the beehives. Every creature that works that well organized, like ants, bees, and all those, they use a system of defense. It's a natural mechanism. Same with humans. They would use systems around them to make them impenetrable. And you see these small rebels and groups and fights and demonstrations and protests and stuff all end up in blood, all end up for hundreds of years. People try to go against some systems, some powerful people, but they're not that organized. They are just trying to show, or not to show, like, to express their anger, frustration, using violence, using force. That's stupid. It's no logic. There's no. So what? It's like those people in Palestine trying to fight the Americans who use the Israeli, and they're trying to fight using rocks, throwing rocks. What? You get killed. It's stupid. You get killed and you're in a smaller number. Now, these people don't learn the lesson. They don't learn that, you try to revenge or say do something or go against the system or something, be rebellious, and you end up beaten up in the blood. They don't learn that. But in order to show these people that they have to be quiet, don't make mess. Don't make mess, because I'm going to send the cops, I'm going to send the military, I'm going to send the tanks and whatever it takes me to keep you in check. In order to do that, they send a virus out, they make people say, you know what, oh yeah, the governments are in control now. The governments can do this, can do that, can stop the virus, can, make people think, you know what, those guys are in control. Don't try to revolt, don't try to mess up with the power, with those in power, because it's useless, you just waste your energy. And they have enough cops who are willing to kill. They are willing to beat you up. And they are cops who love to do that. They get an opportunity, or soldiers, they get an opportunity to kill, shoot people. They would use that opportunity because now they have legal coverage. Nobody is going to investigate the cop who is beating those protesters on the streets. Nobody. The cops get investigated only during peace times or when it's quiet. Now, another thing is they controlled the food supply. You saw how people were crazy about toilet paper. So they can tune the policies and rules and regulation and who goes to work, who stops, which company stops working. They can plant viruses into a certain production facility, like a meat production facility, farms and stuff. They can put some viruses there, shut them down, or make up some stories, or send some those workers, infect some workers. The worker go to work, infect other people, and now you have 10 meat production facilities are shut down, and people see, oh, there is no food on the table now. And when people feel the pain and feel the hunger, they don't have the energy to go fighting the system, right? So it's a very well organized and tuned. Oh yeah, that city have some. I got my informants still telling me, or my intelligence telling me that, I have some mass movement in this city. Oh yeah, let's give them some virus, keep them quiet, keep them hungry. And now they have this electrical power networks that can be remotely controlled, and it's a very sophisticated electrical grid system that can be remotely controlled. And now, since these companies, most of these companies are government controlled, or part of the government, like here in British Columbia, are part of the government, or are government private controlled. Because those people who